Good morning and afternoon to some. Everybody, this is Dan Hussey with AlgoDayTrader.com bringing you our European session recap for September 4th, 2013. Let's actually begin with the S&P 500. Stepping out to our hourly chart here. Well, we have officially broken the 1667 half anchor to lows, 50% short. Upon breaking the short now, we can draw up the Globex long, or not, I'm sorry, not Globex long, but ambush long drawn from a 1624, 1625, 2475 low to today's high, and keep dragging that up as we make new highs until we really do reach the 1688 level. There's a valid pullback into the 1640s now. That could potentially be the only pullback to get into, coming off of this much larger full halfway back long for the summer. We'll expect another ambush long after the 1680s break. We break the full short, but until then, we have broken longs and a pullback now. Would not be. Of course, we could just continue higher without that pullback, but we anticipate the ambush long pullback into the 1640 level, and we'll continue to drag up this ambush long and anticipate it trading. So, just in today's price action, we traded a full long off lows, defended a 628 line, and now we have a potential extension long drawn from the 1642 quarter anchor to highs as well. So that extension is still valid. It's just it's the overnight highs to new highs as well. We'll draw up the full Globex long if we get there, but otherwise 1639 quarter is our primary support level we're looking to watch. We were asked to go over the QE, so I figured I'd just skip right to that. Stepping back to a daily chart, we are in a full short in the QE from an 86.80 swing high to the 76.80 lows. We traded that full short in a front run of 16 pips. It's aggressive, but on a big daily level like this, kind of got to let it go. We know it got a reaction off that level. We had a big gap down, and ultimately now, going down to a 4-hour chart, the level we have rallied into is the break of a long, and now the full ambush short here with the 79.40 resistance level. Going down to a 15-minute chart, let's get even more detailed. We had coming up off the 77.20 lows, we had a full long that traded to and through targets. It's hit its secondary target now, so we'll be looking for extensions on the 15-minute time frame drawn from a 78.42 anchor to highs. This full 15-minute pullback, so long as it trades before the 79.40s, is a valid pull. We're looking for support now at the 78.85 to take us to a 79.50 target. Okay, going down to a micro time frame, we had micro longs hold off lows. We had extensions begin. Went to and through targets, brand new extensions started. Went to and through targets, and now we're looking for a more aggressive extension drawn from a 79.03 anchor to highs. So that extension has been flagging highs here. So we have a 5-minute extension long below, the 79.12. We're looking for the move back down to 78.85s, below 78.75s. We can talk about the full long at that point too, and continue to draw that up until we trade into this short here at the 79.44s. 79.30s is a little bit aggressive of a front run for a hourly or 15-minute short. So, it is definitely in longs until they fail here into larger shorts. Let's go to its big brother, the Aussie US dollar. We're still watching this 95.28 anchor to low. This is a big 4-hour extension short. We've now retested the 91.90s, and so far today, this is where price action has been capped. Granted, it's not for very long, but we are right at this level where we could see resistance. Let's take a look at the trend up off of lows. After a gap up lows, we traded a traditional Globex long, in other words, just the daily's low to high. That trade, upon going to target, we traded into the next in the series, front ran it by a few pips, went to target. Next in the series, after targets traded, actually traded twice, twice, before finally rallying to and through targets. We then began extensions, drawn from the 90.73 anchor to highs. That extension long traded to and through targets, immediately began new extensions drawn from the 91.06's anchor to highs. That trade too went to and through targets, and drawn from the 91.30 anchor to highs, we have extensions trading once, twice, now same anchor, new high. Coming off of this resistance level, below a 91.50 is where we'd have a valid ambush short. So we have 91.60 support on the Aussie US dollar against this much larger long. And it's could be very interesting to see what happens. Now, because we had this series of traditionals, something the Aussie has a tendency to do is using the anchor of the last traditional drawn from the 90.72 anchor to highs. Not saying it will, but I am going to put that up as a kind of a watch level. It was a prior extension. If it wants to do a larger pullback, this is kind of a logical level, but at the same time, it's not a level I would participate on, okay? Because after the break of the 91.50s, there's this potential for an ambush short that I would actually be interested in taking, so long as we are, of course, holding this short level. I think it's important now that we take a look at the Aussie yen and what it's trading. We have been waiting for ever so patiently ever since these 86.40 lows printed, which let's get rid of this trade, and you can see the 4-hour extension shorts that we've been tracking. The anchor is drawn from a 96.06 low on May 31st. The first time it traded was to the June 7th lows, an anchor of a 90.50, traded to the targets of an 89.25 after holding 93.30s. Same anchor, new low, so down to where targets were filled, is our next in the series short. This 4-hour extension short we flagged inside of for all of June and July, until finally reaching targets at the start of August. Upon targets being filled, same anchor, new low, once again, down to the 86.42 lows. Can remove the original. We have finally traded up and into the extension shorts, the next in the series extension short. Breaking this extension short would signal a break in the trend down to off of the 105.40 swing highs to our 86.42 lows. This is significant because, stepping back to a weekly chart, we are inside of the next in the series full 72 anchor to 105.40 high long. This is a huge reversal if and when it happens, and we need to see the market head above the 92.40s to break this 4-hour short. Upon breaking that 4-hour extension short, we would then start pulling up the ambush long, and I would be looking to be a buyer in this ambush long in the direction of a very long-term positional swing towards the 113s, 113.28s. Okay. Nevertheless, we are at the short level and we are at resistance. So failure here and coming off this level is going to put this long in jeopardy. And to be perfectly honest, we could pull back into the 81 level, which is where the full traditional long is. Not the next in the series, the full traditional. And we'd have downside targets of the 84.17s. Going down to a 15-minute chart, the market did pull into a long last week. We gapped up and went to targets. No extension traded. What we did trade was an extension drawn from the 88.50 anchor to highs, and that traded, we were able to reverse engineer that extension, having traded once to target, same anchor, new high, because that's how extensions move, twice to target, and same anchor, new high, never traded. We blew out of targets and began new extensions. These extensions reverse engineered and drawn from the highs of on September 3rd, drawn from a 90.53 anchor to highs. Extensions trade once, twice now to targets. So same anchor, new high below a 90.90 is actually where I would be interested. A break of this level is where I'd be interested in a ambush short in the direction of this larger swing. Having these open gaps on the Aussie below us makes me very hesitant of the long side. But there's nothing says, you know, we're at resistance here, so nothing says that this couldn't be the top for a bit. Okay. So we'll see. Very interesting levels trading currently. Euro yen is, I had to step back out to a 4-hour chart to make any sense of this. And really I'm just seeing us coming off of this 28.80 with a 34.60 target currently. Outside of that, it's in a range, it's sloppy, it's choppy, and little to do. Dollar yen is very much the same way, except on a 15-minute time frame we're able to see the 98.50 anchor to highs extension long holding. Inside this level we've gone sideways in a range, maybe a little micro long here trying to pick it up, but ultimately I see us completely sideways and flagging highs with the potential for that run to 120 resistance here. Okay, and really if we break the 100 level, you know, that's where we look for, you know, kind of interesting stop slides. So not much has changed at all over the last 24 hours in both the euro yen or the dollar yen. The Aussie has been by far and none the biggest mover. The British pound has broken the full short off of prior highs. We now look for the ambush long drawn from the 54.27 anchor low to today's high. Inside this level we've traded a long to target, a number of longs to target, including a Globex long to target. I'm looking for the full pullback in the pound. Not much else to do, but there is potential short-term support at the 56.22 area. But I am very cautious about the pound because we are technically just at this larger daily resistance zone that has traded multiple times, and you know, coming off this level yet again is just proving the strength of this resistance. Every test of a resistance level weakens it a little bit, so this could be the time it breaks. But I see nothing to do on the pound, unfortunately, in the short term. If you're long, hold them. You know, hold them maybe for the break here. But I see no reason to be initiating a short position because you should be short from one of these levels already and be free in this what is now purple setup here. So we'll see what happens. But tracking, you know, a 15-minute time frame here, seeing if a trend develops. The euro US dollar, been a rather tough trade. I say tough, and we'll go over why in a second. But we are looking for a full short now off of the highs drawn from a 34.50 anchor to today's low. Our extension shorts we had a series of extensions go to and through, break out of targets. New extension short flagged, broke. Before it broke, we actually got a long on the euro, and this long we're now drawing a anchor, a 31.87 anchor to highs extension long for a 15-minute time frame. We can also drop the full long off of lows for an ambush long to take us in the direction of the short, but ultimately stepping out to a 4-hour time frame, it's really the 133 short or the 131 long, which trades first here, is going to be a tell in the short term of the market. Because stepping back out to a daily, we are between a big resistance level, and then there are two support levels that have traded below us. The first is the basically 2011 lows to 2012 lows to 2013 highs. That long traded right around the 2880 area. And of course, we retested the 121.20, 121.30 support level, which is the all-time halfway back long for the euro US dollar. That's just all-time lows to all-time highs where the long resides. Okay, and this has been a support level for, almost 10 years now. Well, the better part of a decade. But we are seeing long support. We're just really unfortunately, this is kind of a range between 134, 135, and 127, 128. So it's a little bit dangerous to try to be a buyer here at the middle end of the range at the 131s, considering we are able to see shorts, see the short trend, and now have valid 133, really 129.90 resistance level. All right, I think that finally the Euro Aussie, stepping out to a daily chart. This is looking like we're pulling back in the 141s. Okay, the 141 is I would prefer to play a Euro long in the Euro Aussie. Reason being is over the last few months, not including the last couple days, we have basically seen a trend of Euro strength and Aussie weakness, and that has been displayed in the Euro Aussie as a very, very clear trend to the upside. It gave great clean full traditional longs, and pulling back into an extension long here on the daily time frame at the 141.09s is not unexpected, nor would it be a terrible take. It's a large swing trade. It's a 141 buy. You have to risk 100 or 200 and looks like 10 pips here, but the upside potential is to a 154. So we're talking thousands of pips now to the upside. Well, to be precise, 1,300, 1,300 pips to the upside. So it's quite a large swing, and I would rather be a player to the long side in the Euro Aussie on this extension than in the Euro US dollar trying to buy halfway back inside the middle of a range. Okay, you get the same statistical play in terms of, well, not same directional play, and it gives you the freedom to then also hedge with the Euro US dollar and the Aussie US dollar against a position in the Euro Aussie. The Euro Aussie has been a mover. This pullback is probably drawing in a lot of bears, and let it, because once the bears are cashed out, hopefully down around the 141 area, we can be buyers and get into a nice swing for the remainder of the year. Okay, and we're going to be closely watching the Aussie dollar and the Aussie yen, the Euro dollar and the Euro yen to confirm this 41 level as well. I see the potential for some nice kind of setups, and if things play out, the potential to be long the Euro Aussie, being long the Aussie yen. You're hedging your Aussie weakness there in two separate markets, and then being in and out of the Aussie US dollar and the Aussie or Euro US dollar to basically have neutral positions and effectively a yen short. But we'll see. That's getting a little advanced for right now. All that we should care about is the fact that we have traveled down into this traditional pullback support level, and we will see if we'll see if it holds. Got a reaction prior. This is the second test. Going down to a 15-minute time frame. We have valid extension shorts drawn from yesterday's low of a 145.08 anchor to lows, and that resistance comes in now where the broken support level is. So for those short-term traders, this actually looks like a nice little setup at the 44.30s, risking about 20 pips for a 130 pip target. Alright everybody, that's all I've got for you today for our European session recap. We're looking for potentially potentially really big levels here to play out on both the Aussie and the Euro Aussie yen and the Aussie dollar. And it's going to be an interesting rest of the week. So have a great day everybody, and we'll be back with you as price action develops.